Hi, Cheryl Bowman here. I'm going to be talking to you today in Module 3 of our ACTE 632 about a different course that I took, EDU 905, Creativity and Innovation. I did it at Wilson College through EduSpire. I took this class last fall. And when I am looking at this course, I'm going to be comparing it to the National Standards for Quality Online Teaching, the third edition, which came out in 2019. So of course that is pretty current. There are A through E are the categories I'm going to be talking about today. Those are the different categories of the standards. So A is my first category, which is the course overview and support. There's a course description. You can see it right here. And there is a full syllabus. 2 email addresses are provided. You can see that. There's even an academic integrity statement at the bottom of the syllabus, which I'll scroll down to at the end. And the grading policy is clearly stated as well. I'm going to go down a little bit for that. You can see that right there, the grading scale policy. What didn't it have in A? Just minor. It didn't have an explanation of how to use the tech, and there was no orientation for taking online classes. But I will say that if you're taking a class through EduSpire, most of those classes are tech, STEM, STEAM, anything. Really, there's an expectation if you're taking a class that way that you do have some basic understanding of how to do an online class. So I didn't really find that to be an issue, but it doesn't meet the standard. B is content. There is actually a list of you can see it right here, course learning goals and outcomes listed right there. The course description discusses how the subject matter relates to the state standards. Does that up here at the top. Because creativity and innovation, how does that match up to what we're trying to teach in the classrooms or virtually? It gives tons of resources, and you can see this list here. This is just from the syllabus, and there was even more than this, that connect and enhance the educational process, and all the material was completely appropriate. Communication was only done through showing finished products to peers, so there was minimal interaction. I actually didn't mind that, but when we're looking at SEL, it doesn't really work for that. Section C, Instructional Design. This class actually was a really great class, so I'm just going to go back up here and talk to you a little bit about it. It promoted ownership of learning, and you self-monitored yourself. I really liked it because he gave us all the material beforehand, told us when it was due, how many hours. Actually, that's kind of cool how he did this. I like this. Because it really helped me know how to pace myself. Look at this, like Module 2 says 9 hours, and you got 13 days to complete it. Was that exactly accurate? Maybe not, but it kind of gave me an idea of how much time I needed, when it had to be done, and I could work ahead as much as I wanted to in this class. So I really love that because I'm involved in a ton of things, and it just being able to pace myself and work ahead is super important for me. The material was completely organized. It was challenging, very challenging actually, but manageable. And there were a lot of different learning paths you could take to the end. And I thought was really great is that, the class was creativity and innovation. Well, the material had a bit of mystery to it, but at the end it all fit together, and you could see that the instructor also used creativity and innovation and everything that he did. There wasn't a lot of learner-to-learner, these are my negatives about instructional design, not a lot of learner-to-learner interaction and learner-to-instructor interaction, not as much as we're having in this course. And I always run into that when I take these types of classes, like anything that's a STEM or technology one. I'm usually, and this class actually has a couple of people who teach younger grades, but usually I'm the only one who's a primary teacher, and I don't get a lot of comments on what I post and what I do, because high school teachers are going to gravitate to high school teachers, to what they know. So I usually end up not having a lot of interaction. I'm okay with it, but that's just kind of par for the course. And this class didn't require as much as maybe others would. D is learner assessment. I feel really good about that. The rubrics existed with the assignments with measurable variables. The students could successfully meet the goal. One of the things that we did in the class was making rubrics. So obviously he was modeling that with great measurable outcomes. There were a lot of mini assignments in each module with a final assignment. So I would say that those mini assignments were almost like a formative assessment. The instructor could monitor where we were at, and we were given choice on ways of showing mastery. We didn't have to, we weren't offered the opportunity to submit a draft for our work. So this would be my learner assessment, my negative thing. And then that was in that standard. But I think that if I had requested that accommodation of submitting something before it was graded, I am sure that that would have been allowed. It just wasn't stated that way. And often it's not even in an in-person class, so I didn't really see that as a negativity. E, accessibility and usability. I'd never used Schoology before. I think I mentioned that as a teacher or as a student. The higher grades in my school district use it, but we don't use it at the primary level. But I found the platform easy to use, and the course was set up for fluid movement. Like I said, I could pace myself. The links worked well. The audio worked well. The only negativity that was listed in one of the things in the E standard was offering alternatives for people with disabilities. I didn't see that as an offering, and I don't know how that works, if it would have been needed. F, technology. The materials were released as needed. I could work ahead. I love that. I think I mentioned that. That's how I roll. The technology was completely appropriate for the coursework. I learned some new technology things, and it went smoothly. I don't have any negatives to say about the technology. G, the course evaluation. I wrote a review for the course. It went well. Negative things about that. There was only one method of evaluating the course. And one of the things I did notice, and I'm just going to put it out there, the course was not updated. He teaches that course on a regular rotation, and the materials stay the same. So I'm not sure how often it is updated, but I know it wasn't updated when I had taken it. It had been that way for a period of time. That being said, I thought it was a really strong course, so I didn't really have a problem with that, but I know we want to constantly be adding and revising and changing. That's, how we're all learning as people. But anyway, so that's my evaluation of EDU 905. The creativity and innovation class that I took through EduSpire at Wilson College. And of course, as I said before, actually a really strong class, and I recommend it. All right. Thanks, guys.